Kate Martin's journey was never built on overwhelming hype, viral highlights, or superstar-level expectations. She didn't arrive on the national basketball scene with endless media attention or generational talent labels attached to her name. Instead, her rise has been shaped by something far more sustainable: consistency, resilience, discipline, and an unwavering willingness to do whatever her team needs in order to win. That path may not always attract the loudest headlines, but it has built something just as powerful: trust. Throughout her career, Kate Martin has earned trust from coaches, teammates, and fans alike. She represents the type of player whose value often goes beyond scoring totals or flashy moments. She impacts the game through leadership, effort, versatility, communication, and decision-making. In many ways, Martin has proven that greatness in basketball isn't always about being the loudest or most celebrated player on the floor. Sometimes, it's about being the most reliable. Born on June 5, 2000, in Edwardsville, Illinois, Kate Martin grew up in a supportive and competitive environment where sports were an important part of life. From an early age, she developed a strong athletic foundation rooted in discipline, teamwork, and personal accountability. Basketball quickly became a central part of her identity, and it was clear early on that she approached the game with seriousness and determination. Her early development was built not on shortcuts, but on repetition and structure. She worked on the fundamentals: ball handling, shooting, defensive positioning, footwork, and basketball IQ. While some young athletes rely primarily on physical talent, Martin's growth was fueled by effort and versatility. She learned how to contribute in multiple ways, embracing both the glamorous and unglamorous aspects of basketball. She understood that rebounding, hustle, communication, and defense often matter just as much as scoring. At Edwardsville High School, Martin began establishing herself as one of Illinois' top players. She excelled through her complete game, consistently impacting winning in multiple ways. She could score effectively, facilitate offense, defend at a high level, and lead her team with maturity. Her versatility became one of her greatest strengths, and it helped separate her from many peers. By the end of her high school career, Martin had earned the opportunity to join one of the nation's premier women's basketball programs, the University of Iowa. This decision would prove transformational for both her own career and the Iowa program. At Iowa, Martin entered a high-level competitive environment where expectations were significant. Over time, she evolved into one of the team's most trusted leaders and consistent contributors. While much of the national spotlight often focused on teammate Caitlin Clark, Martin's role within Iowa's success remained essential. She became the ultimate glue player, a term often used for athletes whose impact extends beyond traditional statistics. Martin embraced whatever role was necessary. On some nights, scoring was required. On others, her responsibilities centered around defense, rebounding, communication, or facilitating. She adapted constantly, prioritizing team success over personal recognition. This selflessness became one of her defining qualities. Across her college career, Martin consistently delivered through leadership, positional flexibility, defensive intensity, and emotional stability. She played a major role in helping Iowa reach historic levels, including deep NCAA tournament runs and national championship contention. Her chemistry with teammates, particularly Clark, showcased her advanced understanding of team basketball. Martin knew how to complement star players while still asserting her own value. She excelled at making winning plays, the kind that may not always dominate headlines, but often determine outcomes. As Iowa's national profile grew, Martin's own visibility increased significantly. Fans began recognizing her not merely as a supporting player, but as an elite competitor and leader in her own right. This rise in recognition opened financial opportunities through NIL, name, image, and likeness deals. College athletes now had the ability to build personal brands and generate income while still competing, and Martin entered this new era with a marketable profile rooted in authenticity and trust. While she may not have commanded the same endorsement volume as the biggest superstars in women's basketball, Martin's appeal remained strong. Brands increasingly value athletes who represent discipline, relatability, and character, qualities Martin consistently embodies. By 2026, her estimated net worth is believed to range between $500,000 and $1.5 million. This includes nil opportunities, endorsement deals, professional basketball earnings, appearances, and social media partnerships. Her financial growth reflects both her on-court value and the increasing commercial potential of women's basketball. Professionally, Martin's transition to the WNBA marked another important chapter in her story. Selected by the Las Vegas Aces, she entered one of the league's most competitive and successful organizations. For Martin, this environment was fitting. Once again, she entered a system where trust had to be earned daily, and earning trust has been one of her career's greatest strengths. At the professional level, roster competition is fierce, and opportunities must be maximized. Martin's versatility, defensive effort, basketball IQ, and willingness to embrace her role give her strong long-term potential. She understands that success in elite systems often requires adaptability. Her ability to contribute through energy, defense, spacing, and leadership positions her as the type of player coaches value deeply. Off the court, Martin's lifestyle appears grounded and disciplined. Despite growing fame and financial opportunity, she projects stability rather than extravagance. Her focus seems centered on sustainable growth, personal development, and professional longevity. Her daily life likely revolves around training, recovery, film study, family, team relationships, personal wellness. This structure aligns perfectly with the same disciplined approach that has defined her basketball journey. Unlike some athletes whose public brands are built around excess or celebrity culture, Martin's appeal often lies in relatability. She represents hard work, resilience, and long-term growth. This identity makes her especially inspiring to young athletes who may not initially be viewed as generational stars, but still aspire to build meaningful careers. Her story proves that not every elite basketball career begins with overwhelming hype. Some are built gradually, through discipline, trust, and consistency. As women's basketball continues expanding globally, players like Kate Martin remain critically important. Superstars often drive media narratives, but championship cultures depend on players who provide stability, leadership, and adaptability. Martin's value lies precisely there. Looking ahead, her future remains promising. Continued professional growth could lead to expanded WNBA opportunities, larger endorsement deals, media roles, mentorship opportunities, or even coaching pathways. Financially, she is still early in her long-term earning journey. As women's sports continue to grow commercially, disciplined and marketable players like Martin are positioned to benefit significantly. Personally, her grounded lifestyle suggests she is focused not on temporary fame, but on building a lasting legacy. And that may ultimately define her career most. Because Kate Martin's story is not simply about points, awards, or headlines. It is about trust, consistency, leadership, growth. From her roots in Illinois to her leadership at Iowa and her professional opportunity in Las Vegas, Martin has consistently built her career through preparation. She does not rely on flash. She relies on value. And sustained value often creates the strongest legacy of all. As her journey continues, Kate Martin's influence will likely keep growing, not only as a basketball player, but as a symbol of disciplined success. Because in sports, not every empire is built through hype. Some are built through reliability. And Kate Martin may become one of the clearest examples of that truth. Thank you for watching this deep dive into Kate Martin's personal life, basketball career, net worth, and lifestyle. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more in-depth athlete stories.